Hello everyone, my name is Ronald Denisio and I'm the Virtual Content Specialist for 7th grade Social Studies. In this teacher-facing video, I will go over strategies for teaching Unit 1, Day 15, New Amsterdam, including how to implement the Video Viewing Guide graphic organizer. This lesson is adapted from Grade 7, Unit 1, Lesson 11, found on page 185 of the Passport to Social Studies Curriculum Guide. While teaching the lessons from Native Americans, early encounters, and colonial development, make sure you are having ongoing conversations about the difficulty of teaching and learning about slavery and the mistreatment of Native Americans and Africans through history. Remind students that it is not a comfortable topic for anyone, and it is an awful time in the history of our nation. You could also remind students that they may encounter terms in primary sources that we know are not appropriate, but that are unfortunately representative of words used during this time in history, and continue to provide space for students to express their discomfort and feelings of anger or distress that may emerge from learning about these topics in history. In this lesson, students will research the history of New Netherland to understand how conflict and cooperation helped shape the New York colony. For our introduction and model slides, we will take some time to build the necessary background that will help students to engage with the sources in this lesson. First, lead a discussion on what a conflict is and what a compromise is. Allow students to share their responses. Inform the class. They will see how New York's early beginnings were shaped by events of conflict and compromise. Next, we'll have students look at the image and complete the chart on the next slide based on what they see, what they think, and what they wonder. We'll then share that the title and caption of this image is "In 1626, Peter Minuit, the first Dutch governor, general of New Netherland, purchased all of Manhattan Island from the Indians for the equivalent of $24. We'll ask students to respond to the following questions. How does this information help you better understand the image? And does this depict a conflict or a compromise? Explain. Lastly, we'll share with students that images like the one they just viewed have helped create the false narrative that New York City was purchased by the Dutch for beads and trinkets. A document that was uncovered from 1626 proves that Peter Minuit did indeed purchase the land for 60 Dutch guilders worth of goods. That would be approximately $1,400 in 2020. There is also a debate on what selling the land to the Dutch West India Company meant to the Lenape. Finally, we'll share with students that New Amsterdam, which eventually became New York, began with a deal. Why is this important to the history and legacy of New York? For the main learning activity, we have 3 videos from PBS Learning Media listed on this slide. You may choose to have students watch all 3 on their own, or you can assign different videos to 3 groups and have students share their findings to the questions and graphic organizer. The Video Viewing Guide graphic organizer is included in these slides, and we'll take some time to talk about how to use this graphic organizer now. Showing students videos is a great way to build background knowledge and historical context for students. The Video Viewing Guide strategy gives students ways to process what they are watching. Students use the following guiding questions to take notes, including, what did you hear? What did you see? What did you realize? And what did you wonder? You can either print out this graphic organizer for students, share a digital copy on Google Classroom, or have students recreate the graphic organizer in their social studies notebook. It could be helpful to model for students how to use the strategy while teaching them how to use the graphic organizer on their own, so they can have the strategy in their toolbox when asked to process information from a video in social studies or another class. After students had a chance to watch and discuss the videos, they'll respond to the following question. How do various groups contribute to the development of New Amsterdam? And also, how do we see issues of wealth, power, and morality in these events? Students can also explain one example of conflict and one example of compromise that took place in the development in New Amsterdam. In conclusion, the strategies that we went over today, including the video viewing graphic organizer, can be used for many different lessons in the Passport to Social Studies curriculum. Feel free to give these strategies a try.